Every day, I get to make something, and it's fucking awesome. I get to make films, and no one told me what to do or gave me permission. It's a process that I've gone through myself, being dedicated to my projects. I'm a producer. I work with a team of people. My partner in crime, director, friend, Kurt Mattila, he and I, we dream up these things. We figure out how to do it, how to go about it, and together we figure out that first step. Sometimes it can be scary, silly, a little ridiculous even, but the first step and the act of the first step gets us going. It sets the tone and gives us a direction. 15 years ago, we were asked to pitch on the murder visions for Minority Report. It was an intimidating step, an intimidating process. We were kids working or pitching against industry giants. They had Oscars. We had to figure out that first step. What's that visual language? How do we communicate with the studio, the filmmakers? How do we all get on the same page? So we decided to make a little film, little tests. We didn't have all the resources. We had basic consumer cameras, our friends as actors. We shot in our apartments. Toy guns, fake blood, maybe even ketchup at times, but we were able to figure out a language. We took a couple days to edit, a couple days to animate. These sequences are very handmade. This was the first test we showed. As you can see, we had some scary friends that helped us along the way. We had created a dialogue with the studio. We earned their trust. In the creative process, that's everything. When people are questioning things, it's hard to get things done. When they could see something, even though it's rough, even though it's handmade, you could see the idea of where we were going. The next step, we got to move out of our homes. We got a location, real actors, some practical effects. There were still limitations. We didn't have the job yet, but we had enough to make a real step, and this is that test. You know, we try to get the most for the money sometimes as they're both in the same location. So it prevents a challenge when you're trying to frame a pool party and you have a submerged car in the other end of the pool. So you don't always have your druthers. But again, at this point, we had a style. We had a way to tell a story in a different way. These were dreams. It wasn't a linear piece. Once we had this, we had probably been working on this for 3 months before production even started. Then the movie stars show up, the crew that you had that you thought was big, it was very small compared to everyone else when you walk in and there's hundreds of people. But because of those tests, they were the stepping stones to letting us work with the filmmakers, with the stars, and this was our final product. Thanks. So just last month, we actually delivered a new batch of murder visions for the series that's coming out this fall. To think that 15 years later, we'd be still evolving that same idea, that same story, and thinking about the anxiety that we felt on that first day with our little cameras and our friends. And if we didn't make that, we never would have gone on this journey. We're really lucky that we get to work on a pretty diverse series of projects. It ranges the types of things we do. When you work in other mediums, sometimes you need to create things to give a direction for your team, show to the actors, show to the clients, show to your collaborators. At that point, we made these posters. They set the tone to our visual style. They gave that very clear direction that everyone said, I know what you're making. I can help you. After that process, we did the commercials. It was, we think, a success. We had a really good time with it. Our clients were really happy with it. But even after delivering, we keep going. We play with editorial. We play with some visual effects. We find new ways of our existing stories to do something else. And in the next edit is a little film that we made.
We're the only ones left.
I don't know.
We're all the same.
Join us.
Thanks. When you do projects like that, some of the benefits aren't just about the work. Sometimes you meet new collaborators. The stunt coordinator on that project is this badass stuntman named Eddie Braun. Eddie Braun made his name doing big action movies. He does some action campaigns, and through a series of events, Eddie's been asked to pilot a rocket across the Snake River Canyon and complete Evel Knievel's failed jump. When a friend tells you he's flying a rocket, it does something to you. You follow that story. And we followed Eddie. When Eddie went to go see that canyon for the first time and actually see what he got himself into, how could you not have a camera on his eyes? When there are rocket tests, you go, you explore. One thing we learned, rocket science is actually that. It isn't dependable. You have to go back a lot of times. But through that process, it evolves. The story changes, it morphs. So the first couple tests I'm going to show you, the first is a drone test, studies of the canyon. The second is a really important pressure test for the rocket. You know, when someone looks you in your eye and says, live or die, use the shot, it changes you. It gives new meaning to the project. It gives new meaning to what we're making. It's a different dedication. And so to me, the steps I take, the steps Eddie take, they influence the next. To be in the moment at that time, it's everything. Enjoying these steps, being aware of it, working your hardest, and really caring for the projects you make is everything. We've been working on this film for a year. Today's the first time we're showing anything that we've made. It's still a teaser. The jump's happening later this year, but you'll be able to see the type of film we're making. It sets the tone. It moves our project forward.
Let me just ask you one quick question about the facts. How far is it across the Snake River at the jumping point?
It's somewhere between a half a mile and 3/4 of a mile. It's a big canyon. It's a long way across, a long way down.
What kind of a vehicle are you going to use to go across that?
The machine is what I call a sky cycle. It's strictly a rocket. And it puts out 5,000 pounds of thrust and reaches a speed of 350 miles an hour. And I'll tell you, there's a chance I'm getting killed.
You've obviously tested it then.
No, because there is no use practicing something you cannot miss.
Are you ever afraid?
If I am, I'm not going to tell you about it.
What?
I'm Evel Knievel. I'm not supposed to be afraid.
That's what it's supposed to look like.
My life is in your hands.
Oh, I think they might do this. And it's just gonna go.
It's all come full circle.
I hope you land on the other side, okay?
You be careful.
Have you ever got your tombstone? Well, it's gonna be a shot, buddy.
So Eddie made a rocket. We made a couple of films. What are you gonna make? Just fucking do it. Thanks.